All right, welcome back, guys. This morning we're going to work on a 2008 F-150. Customer stated check engine lights on, and last time they went to fill it up with fuel, pulled the gas cap off and heard a whooshing noise. So I think we got an evap problem here. Let's start by hooking up the scanner here, and we're going to pull codes on it and see what we got for codes. Just waiting for it to communicate here. Once the VCI communicates, we'll see a green light right there. Pulls up the VIN number. No, we don't need that. Alright. That is the correct VIN. Hit OK. All right, so we're going to go into the PCM here. Get some trouble codes, continuous. All right, so code is a P1450, unable to bleed up fuel tank vacuum. So I kind of already know what's going on with this, I think. So, a few tests we're going to run here. We're going to go to live data here. So what this code actually means is that there's an uncontrolled vacuum in the fuel tank. So the fuel tank, when the evap system is working, pulls a little bit of a vacuum on the fuel tank. What this code is saying is that there's excessive vacuum in the tank, or it's uncontrolled. A lot of times you're going to have a purge solenoid that's leaking, actually pulling vacuum when it's not supposed to. You could have a restriction. You could have a problem on the vent side of the system. So we're going to go up here. Bear with me when I go through all this. Go with fuel tank pressure, because that's what the system is looking for, how much vacuum is being pulled on this fuel tank. So we're going to show that. Notice the reading 0.03 to 0. Now I'm assuming when I start this up, it will do exactly that. So it's pulling vacuum right now. So we should have a purge PID pulled up here to see with, you know, if that purge solenoid is commanded on. It shouldn't be at this time, but we'll have to check that out. But yes, there is, that number is rising, which is indicating a vacuum on the tank. So let's go back here. Let's go to active test and see if we can't control the vent valve on this and kind of give us a little bit of a understanding here. So we're going to go that one there. We're going to pull up those same PIDs with the fuel tank pressure. Hit OK. So let's see what happens when we command the vent valve on, which is closed at that point. There we see that raising even more yet. Then we go off. You can really tell the way the engine runs when I turn that on. So yeah, it's pulling a pretty good vacuum there. Let's get out of here. Go back into live data. Let's see. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check that purge valve. I suspect the purge valve is leaking, and that's what's pulling the vacuum on the tank there. So let me get this camera set up under the hood, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here we are under the hood. This is our purge control valve. This is what uses engine vacuum into this port. Electrically controlled, it cycles on, off to control vacuum, the purge cycle within the fuel tank. So first thing I'm going to do is just make sure this thing isn't leaking, which I kind of suspect it is. And I can already tell. So what we're going to do here is hook up a vacuum gauge just to kind of show you. I don't know if you can hear, I can actually hear the vacuum being pulled on there. It sticks to my finger. There we got vacuum. We should not have vacuum through this solenoid. So that's the cause of what's pulling vacuum on our tank. So let's replace this valve, and then we're going to come back, recheck everything, and make sure it's good to go. So let's start pulling this valve off here. Electrical connector. These hoses, evap hoses on Fords, if anybody's ever worked on these, they are nasty. You get your hands all messed up. Alright, we got the new valve here. Let's put that in. Pretty simple. Just a couple bolts, a couple connections here, one electrical connection. And like I said, we're gonna start this engine back up, and we're gonna recheck everything to make sure it's working the way it should. Alright, electrical connector, got the supply vacuum hose to the top, got the purge line goes on the bottom. Actually, I should have put that on because we're going to check that here. Let's leave that off for now. Let's start this engine up and we'll see if we got any vacuum on there. Figure test feels good. Let's put the gauge in front of you here. No vacuum there. That's a good sign. Okay, so now we're gonna get back into the scanner. We're gonna do some functional tests, make sure that electrically this is functioning, and then it's gonna allow vacuum on the fuel tank. We're going to check that fuel tank pressure sensor, make sure that that's working right. and then make sure that it's venting down properly, which it already is, but we'll double check that just to make sure that we cover all the bases here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back into the live data. We're going to pull up that fuel tank pressure right here, right there. Whoops. And that's more of a number we're looking for. Pretty close to 0. And that's where it should be. So let's go back in here and we're gonna do an active test. I'm still getting used to the scanner. This is something new for me. I've actually had it for about 3-4 months now, and I just love the thing. I had a snap-on scanner before, and they stopped supporting it with the software, so this is kind of a nice upgrade here, I think. Not that there's nothing wrong with snap-on scanner, just they kind of rubbed me the wrong way with their software issues. So I went with Altel, and so far I am pleasantly surprised and very happy with it. So let's go in here. We're gonna, oh yeah, the engine died right there, so definitely working the way it should. All right, so we pretty much verified the evap system is working here. Yeah, all we got left to do is clear codes, get back in here and do that. Turn the ignition off, key back on. It is nice, I will say, to have 2 scanners. This scanner does not do everything. There's some stuff that this one has that the snap-on one does not. This one has a lot of stuff that the snap-on one does not have also. So normally when I reach for a scanner, it's going to be this one. And like I said, I love it so far. It's been amazing. A lot of functionality, a lot of function tests. So we got a couple other codes that obviously happened when we were pulling fuel cap off, when we were pulling electrical connectors off. So let's erase those. All right. So that does it for this one. Hopefully you guys liked the video. I'll probably end up doing a few more like this. I don't know if it's something you guys want to see, a bunch of auto repair stuff, but you know, this is kind of what I do every day. Hopefully we get back to doing a few things outside of the shop here, but thanks for watching. And like I said, hopefully we'll see you on the next video.